Okay. I'm sorry about that. My laptop started acting very, very, very sketchy right now. Needed to take some stuff off of here so I'm able to actually stream. So what happens when you do these kind of things and you don't have the most powerful laptop? This is why I'm really trying to get monetized, so I'm able to get like a nice PC or something, so I can actually do like these streaming, like the GPU and stuff like that is very important. So I need to get to that point. Hopefully, I can get there soon. But I did go over my tier list. Um, Unfortunately, the site I was on, I think, was the reason why I wasn't able to really stream continuously. But just going over my tier list again, I had about 20 players, 20 to 22 players that needed to be sold. And to be honest with you, it's it's rightfully so, bro. I mean, a lot of these players need to get out, man. Um, Unfortunately, Enzo will be part of that group of players that will be sold, and that's going to be probably the biggest generator of funds that you're going to be able to get. But again, I'm looking at it from a perspective of this team needs major surgery on everything. Um, and going forward, it's like, how are they going to be able to use this money and go get the players that are actually needed in order to make this team better? Right now, for Chelsea to get better, for Chelsea to actually get back to the top, positions that need to be filled and positions that need to be looked at seriously is, it depends how Alonso plays. Now, if Xabi Alonso is not going to play with wingers and he plays with a front two, or he plays with a striker and two attacking mids in behind, then you're looking at a different formation here in terms of how we're going to set up. And if you're going with wingers, I only have two wingers in mind that I want to see come to the club that I think are going to actually make a difference. Rafael Leao is the first one that I'm going after, honestly. And the second option that I'm going after is, it's not going to happen. It'll never happen. But I've been speaking on Jeremy Doku for the longest time. And I feel like if he were to come to the club, he would honestly be an exceptional signing. I've seen a lot of people say like Bradley Barcola too. He's not going to come to Chelsea, bro. I think he's more likely to go to like a Liverpool, in my opinion, than he is to go anywhere else. I think Bradley Barcola at Liverpool would go absolutely nuts, bro. Absolutely nuts. But in terms of the central midfield position and what we're looking for, Bruno Guimaraes would be my pick to replace Enzo Fernandez, and it allows Caicedo to play alongside of him. So then, who do you go get as that number six, right? I've seen people mention Sandro Tonali. I've seen people mention Adam Wharton, which I wouldn't be upset at now, given that Enzo's going to be leaving. If you're able to go get Adam Wharton from Palace, I wouldn't mind that. But it's a matter of how much money are you going to generate from these clubs, from these players, rather, right? And is Xabi Alonso going to be able to go get the players he needs in order to make this club a successful club again? You know, we saw yesterday that AC Milan sacked their CEO, their manager, the sporting director, and the technical director because they didn't make Champions League football on the final day of the season. That's called accountability. That's called taking that club by the scruff of the neck and saying it's not good enough. The club size of AC Milan should always be in the Champions League, no matter what. No matter what. They've won I think they've won what, the second or third most Champions League in history. They should always be in the Champions League. With the history of that club, they should always be in the Champions League. And that's what we talk about when it comes to accountability. Something that this ownership just does not have. And people are going to see in the summertime that this ownership hasn't changed one bit. Hasn't changed one bit, and it won't change. This is why people are still saying continue to push the message, Blue Co out. And I'm with you guys on that. they still need to leave. It doesn't matter if you hired Alonso. It's like I keep saying, until we see these players hold up the shirt and put pen to paper, no one is gonna believe anything that is coming out of these clowns' mouth at all. At all. That's why my overlay still has Egbali and Todd Bowley as clowns, bro, because they are. It's a disgrace what is going on right now. You know, players have one eye turned to the World Cup, and rightfully so. The World Cup is going to be able to up their values even more. Like, I don't think Enzo leaves before the World Cup, but I think he leaves during the World Cup. I think a transfer will be done during the World Cup, honestly. And it's going to suck. I keep trying to tell people, Chelsea fans who want to continue to say that we would be better off without him. I don't believe that. There's no evidence to support that whatsoever. What, is Barco going to come in and replicate what Enzo Fernandez did? No, he's not. I saw a comment yesterday on my stream saying like he's a player that you want to have and develop 2 years while you're still trying to compete at the highest level. What's going on, Mazza? How you doing, bro? Must be late. What is it, like 5:30 over there right now? How's the vibe over there right now, knowing that Arsenal play on Saturday for the biggest prize in the game? It must not be good. Must not be good, man, at all. But I did my tier list earlier. My stream was acting off, but I had a lot of players. I had about 20 players in the sell and just get rid of, and saying like, why are you here? Right? Unfortunately, I put Enzo in that sell category just because we all know he's gone. And hopefully João Pedro is not in that same category, bro. I hope that we find a way to keep him, because if we sell Enzo and João Pedro in the same transfer window, we're absolutely cooked, bro. Absolutely cooked. And it doesn't matter if they use the money and go get players. I think that those two players are too important to what we do, honestly. And we didn't do much. Right. So we'll see what happens. But I do appreciate you coming back into the stream, bro. It was pretty sick talking to you a few days ago. Seem to have a lot of ball knowledge. And, you know, not really feeling the greatest about where this club is going, man. Early evening in the UK, hottest day of the year. Not worried about Saturday. PSG will do the business. And either way, I'm flying out to the Canary Islands the same night. Hey, bro, that sounds like a hell of a vacation spot. Enjoy that time out there, honestly. Enjoy that. That's all I can say. I mean, with the World Cup being out here in the States, like, there's like no hype for it, bro. There's no hype. Like, the World Cup, it just seemed like it's going to be an absolute disaster class, man. Like, you got the ticket prices at an all-time high, even though people saying that they're dropping. I don't believe that. You want to go to a premium game in the group stage, you're paying like $800 per ticket. You know, you want to see, like, if I want to see the United States play, bro, I'm going to have to pay like $700, $800. I'm assuming you're British, right? So it's like, if you want to see England play in the group stage, you're going to be paying your airline ticket. You're going to be paying the ticket fees and then your hotel fees. And then if you're going to all the group games, you're paying multiple airline tickets just to go to these games. That's why it was such a mistake to have this in the United States. It's just a money opportunity, bro. That's all this tournament is at this point. At least this iteration of it. At least in 2022, it was in the wintertime, for one, and two, Qatar is such a small country, so you can get to point A to point B relatively easy. Even out there in the UK, I know about the train system. You can take a train from Newcastle down to London, and you'll probably be there in like 3-4 hours. Like, that's not a bad way to travel. But if you're taking airline ticket, if you're taking a flight, that's completely different. But I'm just incredibly concerned about where this club is going, bro. It's not good. Like, I just don't trust that we're going to be able to get the players that we're asking for. I spoke on the players I already want to see here. Rafael Leao, Victor Osimhen, bring back Nico Jackson. Go get two established center halves. Go get me Bruno Guimaraes, right? Just go get me these players that I know are ready to go and that can bring this team back to the top. But until then, you know, we're not going to go anywhere. Thanks a lot. Needed that mental break as England, as they haven't picked the best squad available, in my opinion. We may get to the semifinal, but yeah, not expecting much. I think Portugal could win it. Portugal is a good shout. I think they could get to the final, but I think the lack of a center forward for them is going to be a big issue. Now, people are going to say Ronaldo will be the striker. I think at some point, like, Portugal really need to find that center forward, man. Like, they definitely lack it. They're good in every other position but center forward. Ronaldo's great. He's a top 2 player of all time, in my opinion. But at some point, like, Portugal, and it's the same problem with Brazil, kind of. Brazil haven't had a solid number 9 since R9, right? They just haven't. And I think Portugal's problem is not going to be scoring goals, really. It's not going to be creating chances to score goals. It's going to be who's going to be clinical enough in the later stages of the tournament to get Portugal over the line. Because I think their issue in the 2022 World Cup was that Morocco was not going to concede. And Morocco was so solid defensively that if you had a big center forward in there, a guy who can link up play together, because Ronaldo's game, he's never really been about linking up with his wingers at all, because in his prime, he was a left winger. As he's gotten older, he's been a center forward. I think if Portugal had a real center forward, they can possibly win the entire tournament. But in my last 4, bro, I have Spain, Argentina. I do have England there as well. And I think one African team will get to a semifinal again. I really, really do. I think it's only a matter of time before an African team does win the World Cup. But who do I think is going to win the World Cup, man? Like, I'm going to get to that in a few weeks, but my early prediction, as of right now, I got Spain winning it, honestly. But we'll see what happens. All right, like, I don't want to see Argentina back in the final. I think they lose, honestly, to. I think they lose to Spain in this semifinal, honestly. You can probably see a World Cup of Spain versus England or Spain versus an African team, honestly. I just think that this is going to be a tournament where you see a lot of upsets, because I think the player fatigue is going to be at an all-time high, because these players realistically haven't had a break in a very long time. Ever since COVID's happened, bro, like, these players haven't had a break. And I think you're going to probably see a lot of these big teams go out early. Yeah, that's a good take on it. I don't think anybody has a complete squad. Imagine Senegal get stripped of AFCON and then they win the World Cup. Who's Spain's striker, though? That's another question I have, right? Like, who's Spain's striker going to be? As of right now, I couldn't even answer that question, right? But I think they're so solid everywhere else that I don't think Spain needs to play with a number 9. If you're really going to say who their 9 is, I haven't even seen their squad yet, honestly. Let me take a look at their squad real quick so I can actually give you a good answer on that. Need to look for it though. Right here. La Lista. So if I'm looking at this, it has to be a Ferran Torres, right? like that's who it is. Like that's who it would be, right? I guess if you're thinking logically, you would rather have Cristiano Ronaldo as your striker than Torres. But again, I think the problem that I'm having with Portugal is that it's just because of his age, bro. I think you're 41 years old. I think at some point that fitness is going to catch up with you. A Ferran Torres, on the other hand, I feel like because you have Lamine Yamal, you have Nico Williams, and then their midfield of Zubamendi, Pedri, you know, them two, you got Gavi, you got Rodrigo in there, Rodri, right? Like, I think Spain's solid, bro. Now, you can make an argument about their back line, honestly. It could be a little bit better. Like, gone are the days of PK and Puyol are gone, obviously. But I just think they're solid, bro. I think the women's team is better, though, honestly. I think the women's team is a lot better, honestly. But it wouldn't shock me if Spain win it. They will have high possession in just about every single game, but it's just a matter of, can Ferran Torres actually lead the line? Maybe. They're going to create opportunities like crazy. That's one thing we do know. Same with Portugal, but I do think Ronaldo's age is going to catch up to him at some point. That's just how I feel about it. I just think Raya for Spain being the hardest to score against, but most players for Portugal. Yeah, I mean, if Portugal had beat Morocco, honestly, I think Portugal could have beaten France in the semifinal. I really, really do. I think Portugal may have had their number. But I mean, that last four, like, I really haven't given my full predictions yet on it because I still want to see what players are going to really be available in, honestly. Like, Lamine Yamal's not even about to be in the first two games of the group stage, and Spain could drop points in either of those two games, right? So we'll see what happens, honestly. But if I'm speaking on the United States, bro, the U.S., man, I'm gonna just say this now: the way that they let the players know that they're not going to the World Cup is absolutely disrespectful. They sent it via email, bro. Like, they sent this shit via email, man. Like, it's such a disrespect, man. Like, I do want to see their squad, honestly. Like me being American, I don't have a lot of hope, even though it is out here. Let me see if I can find it on their Instagram. They should have had it posted already. Oh, they're actually revealing the roster today. But one thing that I just found to be crazy, bro, is, and I'll show this on stream. Let's see if I can find it. And if I'm this brother here, I will switch nationalities because of how it went down. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, here it is right here. I had to search for it. And Pulisic. Honestly, bro, Christian Pulisic, I'll say this, him playing for Chelsea meant everything to me, and seeing him lift the Champions League trophy brought a tear to my eye, honestly, when he was playing for us. And it felt amazing, like, to see that, because it pulled my heartstrings, bro, seeing an American player lift up the Champions League trophy like that. Like, I feel like he was one of the most underappreciated Chelsea players we've had in the past, like, 5 or 6 years. I think selling him was one of the biggest mistakes that we've had, because our left wing position is shit. But let me go ahead and show you this real quick. Where's it at? Here you go. So the U.S. men's team, right? A lot of the players found out because of this right here. The U.S. players found out whether they made the 2026 World Cup roster via mass email, sparking major backlash from fans, pundits, and former players. Mauricio Pochettino sent a notification to the 55 preliminary roster members, bypassing individual phone calls or personal conversations for the cuts. This is why our system out here is fucked. You can't even tell these people. You can't even tell them to their faces or call them, "Hey man, you're not going to make the roster for the World Cup." But you send out an email. This is why we're not serious. This is why the US will never ever ever win a World Cup, bro. They'll never win it. They'll never sniff a final. Because if your manager isn't even confident enough to tell these players on the phone or have a face-to-face conversation with them, they ain't serious. And we had Pochettino at Chelsea, right? But he won't be there after this World Cup. Best believe. This is going to be his only major tournament, and he's going to fumble the bag so hard. We'll win the group. I believe that. We'll get out of our round of 32 game. I believe that. But once we hit the round of 16, you best believe, bro, the U.S. ain't going nowhere. Whoever they play in the round of 16, they're going to get absolutely blitzed, bro. They're going to get absolutely torn up. And you know what? Back in 2022, I was foolish enough to think that the U.S. can beat the Netherlands in the round of 16. I was foolish to even think that. Now, now, I believe the squad we have now is better than what we had in 2022. But the problem is the rest of the world is just getting better, right? The rest of the world has been on this level of trying to compete. The U.S. hasn't been serious about this sport ever. It says a lot when the women's team is able to win 2 or 3 World Cups and the men's can't even sniff a final. Because at least on the women's side of things, they care about that sport. This is why I believe in players in like Alyssa Thompson, right? I believe in that. I believe in her. Why? Because she's great at Chelsea, and I believe that she's going to be the next great American player to win the United States a World Cup. That's just how I feel about it. Like, I really think she's that good. But again, it's the U.S. men's team is never going to win a World Cup, bro. Never. Not in my lifetime, at least. Like, their best finish was in 1930, bro. They got third. Ain't nobody believing this U.S. team is going to win. I think they win the group. They get to the round of 32 and get absolutely torn up by anybody they play in the round of 16. I mean, not really, bro. Not that I've seen. Like, I just think the problem is that the United States doesn't take this sport seriously, and they're more worried about the NFL. They're more worried about the NBA. They're even more worried about Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball is honestly one of the most boring sports to watch. People want to say that soccer or football is boring, bro. Go to a baseball game. Check out the attendance at these games. You know how much money you have to pay when you go to a baseball game, right? You're paying for the tickets. Fine, cool. But the food, the concessions, the merchandise, right? It's not worth it. The parking, it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. I haven't been to a baseball game in years. In years. I'd rather go to an NBA game. I mean, even like an NFL game. I went to a 49ers game on my birthday a couple years ago because my girlfriend took me there for my birthday and stuff. But outside of that, NFL games are too expensive. NBA games, if I want to go see the Golden State Warriors play, bro, I'm paying an arm and a leg. Right? I saw Chelsea come out here almost 2 years ago when they came to Santa Clara, right? Those tickets were $98, but everything else was fine. I didn't have to pay any extra fees. Like even the parking was $5, right? Like I'd rather go to a soccer or football game, bro, world football game, than go to a Major League Baseball game, an NBA game, or an NFL game. And I just don't think they take the sport seriously out here, and they never have, right? The United States only cares about this sport when the World Cup is up, and even then, the hype for this World Cup is at an all-time low. Why? Because we all know that you expanded it to 48 teams for a reason. Money opportunity. More games equals more money. And the games that are out here in the Bay Area, bro, like I can even go over this, bro. It's ridiculous. And like this is why. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Now they have the round of 32 games out here. Look at these games, bro. Like these are the games that are being offered out here. Let me go ahead and get a better overlay for this. Like, bro, I played this sport for over 20 years. It's terrible. The prices in sports have just got silly. I prefer horse racing these days and dog racing. It's slowly picking back up. Yeah, bro. Like a lot of people are getting into other sports, like even F1. Like I'm not like the biggest racing guy, but like shit, I'd rather go see like an F1 race. Let me go ahead and show you the games that are being offered out here, bro. Where I live in the Bay Area. Hold on. Look at this, man. These are the games that are being offered. Qatar versus Switzerland. Austria versus Jordan. Paraguay versus Turkey. Jordan versus Algeria. Paraguay versus Australia. The round of 32 Group D winner versus the third place from Group B, E, F, I, or J. And if I'm taking a look at these games, right, and if I'm taking a look at the round of 32 games, right, what group is the United States in? I don't even think they're in Group D. Oh, no, they are in Group D. So if the United States, bro, if they win their group, right, if they win their group, they would be hosting the game out here. Do you understand how expensive those tickets would be? Right? And then it's the third place from Group B, E, F, I, and J. The third place winners from those groups, right? So if we look at Group B, who's going to get third place in that group, in my opinion? Bosnia, right? And then you're going to E, right? Germany, Curacao, Ecuador, or the Ivory Coast? I think Ecuador actually do win Group E, honestly. That's a hot take, but I think they do win it. It would be probably like the Ivory Coast, right? You would think. Group F, Sweden, Japan, the Netherlands, and Tunisia. Who's going to get third in that group? Maybe Sweden, right? And then Group I, France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. Who's going to get third in that group? In my opinion, Norway. And then Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Jordan, and Austria. If the United States plays anybody that is like Sweden, the Ivory Coast, and God forbid if like, God forbid this, bro, if France find a way to not get second or third, do you understand that if the United States were to play France, right? And I'm not saying it's going to happen, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen. Yeah, honestly, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying here. I'd rather go out to London and actually go to the bridge than see this garbage, bro. Right? Like, could you imagine if, and it's not going to happen, right? This won't happen at all. But could you imagine if France gets third in their group and they have to play the United States out here in Santa Clara? Those tickets would be absolutely ridiculous, bro. Yeah, I think they will do well, honestly. I don't think they beat France in their group, but I think they will do well. But I think people are underrating Senegal, bro. I really do. I think they might be the team that goes the deepest out of all the African teams, in my opinion. But even if they were to play like in Norway, people are going to want to see Erling Haaland, bro. Right? So if the United States plays Norway in the round of 32, those tickets are going to be outrageous. And it's like you told me, dude, I'd rather go see Chelsea in London than go to a World Cup game. And the World Cup happens every 4 years. And it never happens out here in the United States. The last time it was out here, I wasn't even a year old. So that's what I'm saying. I'd rather see Chelsea out in London than go to a World Cup game. That's how, like, I'm hyped, honestly, for the World Cup because it's the World Cup, right? But at the same time, I'm not looking forward to how, because I feel bad for all the international travelers, bro, that are coming out here and are having to pay fortunes just to go see their national team, bro. And then having to go take multiple flights just to go do that. It's crazy. I don't like it. And I haven't even gotten to the fact that it's being hosted in 3 different countries. That's another thing. Like, and like there's already issues with certain countries coming into the US because of like visa issues that I don't agree with. I think that if you're coming here just to watch the World Cup, you should be able to come here and watch the World Cup. Like, I'm not going to get into like the political side of things, but at the same time, it's a disgrace that we're having it. Chelsea ain't even on tour in the US this year. It's in Australia and Hong Kong. I know. Like, I know. And I don't even think they need to go on a preseason tour, bro. I think they need to focus on the fucking season. If I'm being real, like, they don't need to go on a preseason tour and try to generate more money, because realistically, Chelsea won't lose to any of these teams on the preseason tour. I don't know who else. I haven't even really paid attention to who they're playing because I just think that it doesn't matter. They need to focus on the season and focus on getting this team right. Like, this is how you know that ownership only cares about the financial gain rather than actually making sure these players are ready for the entire season. It's sad. But again, like, you would think that people would be hyped for the World Cup. There's no hype out here, bro. There's none. Like, you're like, and if you listen to the official song for the World Cup, bro, it is an absolute disgrace that Jelly Roll is the guy that is doing the official song. Shakira should be the only person that has an official theme for the World Cup every 4 years. She's the voice of the World Cup when it comes to the music angle of it. She is the voice of it. Like how, what's her name? Mariah Carey is the voice of Christmas. Yeah. Shakira should be. Infantino and capitalist approach to the World Cup has killed joy. We have had a successful World Cup Euros in Russia, Ukraine, Qatar, and Brazil. It'll never have. Yeah, because And like it's like I said, I don't want to get into like the politics of it, but Donald Trump is like the absolute reason why people are having an issue with this World Cup, bro. Like the visa issues, the fear that illegal immigrants are going to come here and cause issues. They're really not. They're here to support their national teams, bro. What are you so worried about? That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to get into like my views on Trump, but the guy is an absolute clown, bro. And like, there's already been stuff about how it's being boycotted. Like a lot of the games are going to be boycotted because they don't want to feed money to FIFA and they don't want the recognition of this World Cup to make Trump look good. Like honestly, it's such a mess right now, dude. It's such a mess. What time is it? 9:51. I'll be on for another 10 minutes. I got to get ready for work soon because I actually have a job. I wish YouTube was honestly my job. Where I can just like make money off of this rather than, traveling about 30 minutes to where I work. But hey, is what it is. Yeah, I had my tier list up earlier for my for Chelsea. I can probably do it again, honestly, real quick before I leave. Gauge your guys' views on it real quick. All right, these are the actual. So I'm not going to go through the academy players, but this is what I will do. Let me go ahead and get over here real quick. I'm off to work, so go collect the other half from work. Take it easy. Yeah, bro. I hear you. I appreciate you jumping in, bro. I love your interactions. It means a lot. China, India still don't have broadcast because of exorbitant price, and that's 2/3 of the world. Yeah, exactly. It is 2/3 of the world's population, and they're not even able to broadcast it, which is crazy. But let me go ahead and do this tier list real quick for you guys before I get out of here. I want to gauge your thoughts, Morrison, on the players that I'm going to be putting in this tier list, bro. Actually, let me go ahead and do this so it's actually easier for you guys to see. All right. I'm not going to show my face on here, obviously, but let me X you out. All right. So, Palmer. Now, you're 100% keeping him, obviously, but I think for this season, next season, I think will be the season that you look at and it's like, okay, if he's not banging in the goals, if he's not back to his best, I would sell, honestly. Caicedo, you keep. Cucurella, 100% sell. Enzo, unfortunately, I would keep him. I'll put this: sell if there's a good offer, right? If Real Madrid or Man City do come in and it's a good offer, I think he's gone. Reece James, obviously, 100% keep. Andre Santos, I'm gonna be real with you. Earlier on, I said I would send him on loan. I would sell him. Pedro Neto, sell. Levi Colwell, 100% keep. Malo Gusto, 100% sell. Chalobah, don't know if it's controversial. I would sell him. João Pedro, keep. Fofana, sell. Robert Sanchez, sell. Romeo Lavia, sell. Do you understand how many players I'm over here putting in there? Joro Hata, I'm 100% keeping. If there was a separate thing for this brother here, I would say, why are you here? I keep, honestly, people are going to think I'm crazy for this, but if you get an established left winger, I wouldn't mind having Jamie Gittins there as that good bench rotation player. Tosin, 100% sell. Esteval, you 100% keep him. Sell, sell, sell. A loan for Asugo. He's not getting enough game time. I would, at this point, sell Tyreek George. This point, he's never getting in. Like I said, I'm not going after any of the academy guys. Benoit Badiashile, sell. Anselmino, I wouldn't sell him, but I just keep him out on loan. But my thing is, why did you even recall him in the first place? Jesse Derry, I'll be real, bro. Bench rotation. I think he's better than like what we had. Nico Jackson. Now this guy, I'd put sell if a good offer comes in. Missing the kick the fuck out option for Fofana. Yeah, bro. Like I had a whole I did a tier list earlier, man, and I had it to where why are you here? And I think that stream is probably up somewhere on my channel right now. I'll probably link it in here. But I had Miss kick the fuck out, like, and Liam Delap. But do you see how many players here, bro, are in the sell category? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 players, bro. And if I'm being ruthless, that's 20 players, bro. And I put Jesse Derry there as bench rotation because he's better than what we have on the wings right now. And that's saying something as a kid. As a kid, bro. But these are the only players, in my opinion, that you do not sell. Enzo, if they offered him the contract, you 100% keep him, but you sell if the offer is there. If the offer doesn't come in from Real Madrid or Man City, there's a possibility Enzo will still be here next season, but I don't think he will be. If I had it my way, I'm 100% keeping Nico Jackson. And you pair him with this brother right here. Otherwise, he's going to be here. But Jamie Gittins, to me, I want to see one more season out of him. I think he needs another shot. Only because he's been injured. And I just think that if you get an established left winger with him, he's going to get better while playing under him. So this is how I would rock out my tier list, honestly, of players. Let me know how you feel about it. If there's players that should be moved. But we are a selling club team first this season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I have a shit ton of players there in terms of like selling, bro, because that's who you sell. But I got to be honest, Morrison, I got to get out of here, dude. I got to get ready for work. But I'll probably be on stream a little later. Probably on like my lunch again. So we can have more of a conversation about this tier list. But I'll show it back up on screen one more time. This is exactly how I would do it. This is how I would do it. But I'm going to actually share this on Twitter so people can see it, people can react to it. Let me go ahead and do this. All right. Post this there. Yeah, I'll have fun. I usually enjoy my time at work, honestly, which is wild to say, but I'll see you guys soon. Um, I'll probably see you guys later on in the day for like a lunchtime stream. But until then,